So Intel and its partners, and primarily our end user customers, have realized a big change in the workforce. What used to be a lot of buildings full of people has now dispersed into a much more a broader workforce. So it's really shifted a lot of the compute needs from a centralized location to a decentralized location. Hi, I'm Todd Christ. I'm an Enterprise Solution Architect. I work in our Cloud and Enterprise Solutions group at Intel Corporation. So we've seen a lot of our partners really working to embrace the way that they can meet with each other, very much like this video, right? A lot of video conferencing is going on. A lot of the virtual cloud-based tools are being utilized, things like Office 365, Google's G Suite, being able to connect applications together to kind of make it feel like you're there with the person in the room because you can't be there face to face. I think that's been one of the really big challenges is having tons of meetings, like I have tons of meetings every day, and it's great to be able to have a face-to-face discussion because there's so much that you can read from how somebody is reacting to comments or stories or how you can move things forward. One of the biggest problems that we have is making those connections secure and making them fast enough for our end users to have a good experience. A lot of our partners and customers have been utilizing VPN for a lot of their connectivity. VPN is nothing new in the environment. It's been used for a lot of remote access and remote control type activities. What's really changed is the utilization of those VPN connections. Some of the best VPN use cases that we've seen obviously are from a trusted compute source, a trusted laptop, something that your IT department gives to you. They know that device, they trust that device, they install their certificate on it. In other cases, you may have a site-to-site VPN connection. So you work at a small office that is disconnected from the major corporate office. Essentially, a VPN tunnel is set up between those, so you have connectivity between those sites. Obviously, in this disaggregated model where we've got individuals spread out over a very wide, broad spectrum, you'll see VPN from a device back to the corporate network, and primarily using a lot of the collaboration tools to be able to make sure things are shared broadly between all their partners and customers. One of the biggest concerns, obviously, is security. Whenever you encourage more security in the cloud, it gives more restrictive access to certain things. And IT departments are really scrambling to figure out, hey, how can we make our connection secure to our end user and still know that we have secure control over the corporate data that's going on? This is where a lot of our partners and customers will establish a VDI presence, so virtual desktop infrastructure. And Intel really helps to promote a very solid performing, secure foundation for virtual desktop environments. The nice thing is that you can have any device that is on the receiving side, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a trusted device. You can provide a trusted VDI session out to that device. They design it for a business worker, a graphics worker, a CAD designer, and they can provide the resources that are needed inside that desktop and push it out to that remote device and really offer the best performance for the end user. So Intel really works to amplify the VDI story with hyper-converged infrastructure, being able to take a standard x86 platform with second generation Intel Xeon scalable processors, being able to put in our Optane persistent memory, Optane storage, our Intel 3D NAND flash storage as well as Intel networking products. All of these components work together, and we finally tune them to give the best VDI solution possible. So you can custom tailor the solutions for your standard office workers using anywhere from 2 to 4 compute cores, 4 to 8 gigabytes of RAM, maybe 20 terabytes of storage. You can scale from just a single box if you have a small company, or you can go up to dozens of boxes if you need to provide that much service for those end users. Things like application device queuing that's built into our latest network cards is somewhat of a traffic shaper. It gives you the capability to think of your data plane as like a highway. You put all the large buses over in one lane, you put all the smaller cars in the other lane. That way we don't have a bunch of interacting data that's getting congested, and we make the traffic patterns much more smooth. We try and build that hyper-converged model to work really well, so it scales not only up for the majority of users that you need to place on one platform, but it also scales out. That gives you the breadth and scope of the platform that you really need for that virtual desktop infrastructure. IT infrastructure managers can actually use some of these VDI sessions based in the public cloud. there are some hybrid models that are really starting to evolve, all backed by Intel, all tested, all solved through things like Intel Select Solutions and through our Intel reference designs. This really helps to ease the adoption points for a lot of our partners and end users. So Intel has worked really hard over the past decade to really help stand up the cloud infrastructure. What's really important here is it gives customers choice. Not only it gives IT departments the capability to store data on-premise whenever they need to and meet requirements like General Data Protection, GDPR, Patriot Act, making sure that data that is on-premise stays on-premise and doesn't go up to the public cloud is really important for regulation and control. Now that we've really cloudified a lot of these workloads and infrastructures, things are much more fluid and much more flexible. So you can use things like Windows Virtual Desktop on Azure, and you can also use Microsoft's RDP sessions on-premise as well, both sourced by Microsoft. But there's ultimately choice for a lot of our partners and end users at this point. Intel has tons of technologies that enable not only the public cloud presence, but also the private cloud presence as well. Make the best choice for what your business needs. Make sure that it's secure enough, make sure that it's fast enough, make sure that it meets the needs of your end users. What we're really seeing is that this is going to become a new disaster recovery type model where if this happens again, we can quickly transform back out to this process. Or a lot of companies are really starting to change their business model and say, we have all these millions of square feet, but we seem to find that our employees are working just fine from home. So this might be a new model moving forward. And we're trying to help all of our partners and customers help adopt to this. Whichever model moves forward, we can help them on-premise, we can help them in the cloud, and we can help stitch them together with a hybrid or multi-cloud type model.